Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Courtney, and today I'm going to be doing my January paycheck number 2 budget. Due to some technical difficulties, I was not able to do a cash stuffing video for my paycheck number 1. But basically, I'm sorry. It was beyond my control, and I honestly don't know what happened to the footage, but it was just gone. And I could have taken all the money back out and redone it, but I was really scared that I was going to mess up my number, so I decided just to skip it. So this is my January paycheck number 1, and I'm going to be doing my January paycheck number 2. I get paid bi-weekly, so that means that typically I only have 2 paychecks in every month. So let's get started. Let's see. I'm gonna write it up here. I hope you guys are all having a great week. I've been having a pretty good week. I feel like the winter is really starting to get to me, and I've just been like really tired all the time and just super not into filming or doing anything. So I am really hoping that in a couple weeks, when I start my seeds for my garden, I'll start feeling a little bit more peppy. My typical explanation goes out. I'm really sorry if some of this stuff is misspelled. I am not the best speller, nor do I claim to be. But basically what I do is I start with my bills and expenses. These are things that I have to pay every single month. So debt, or things like rent or utilities. I'm lucky enough to live with my parents in a basement apartment, so I don't have to pay rent or utilities right now, because that was their way of helping me through college and after college, since they couldn't afford to really help pay for any of it. So I really appreciate it. It helps me a ton. And to be completely honest, if I wasn't able to live with my parents for free, I likely would not be able to afford rent. And I would end up having to live with probably 4 or 5 other people just to be able to afford to live somewhere. So I'm very lucky, and I do know that means that this budget is not going to be realistic for some people. But even if this exact budget is not realistic for you, I hope that it gives you inspiration to start a budget that will work for you. So my first debt is my PayPal, and this is my current debt snowball. My minimum payment used to be $24 a month, I believe, but after I paid off my Capital One credit card, that minimum payment got added to my PayPal, so it is now $84 every month that I'm putting towards my PayPal, and that's not including any extra debt snowball payments. Next is my car loan, and oh my gosh, I literally just dropped it off to get repaired. So I will tell you, sinking funds are your best friend. Make sure you have a car sinking fund if you drive. Next is my private student loan. And this is getting $109 this week. Now also, these numbers are actually double. So my car's minimum payment is $200 a month. So paycheck number 1 plus paycheck number 2 equals the payment that I'm going to make in the next month. So I will transfer this money into my Capital One 360 account, and then once it's cleared, I'm sending it off to pay February's bills. Hopefully that makes sense. Before my student loans kicked in, I was able to set it up so that I was a month ahead. And my federal loan is currently $35.50 a week because I'm income based. Let me just check. I'm still getting used to my Erin Condren monthly planner, so I'm trying to figure out the best setup for me, and I wanted to see what I had for last week. So my total bills and expenses is $286.50. Last week I put in there that I had Spotify and Planet Fitness, but because I took the full amount of those two bills out of my last paycheck, I don't need to take it out of this paycheck. So next I have my cash envelopes. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I changed this up just a little bit so that my cash envelopes and my sinking funds are separate. So my cash envelopes are what I keep in my wallet, and I carry them with me all the time. So the first one that I have is gas, and I budget $60 for gas for 2 weeks. So basically $30 each week, which is awesome because in November, when I was at my other job, I was spending $120 plus every 2 weeks on gas. So this new job has saved me in gas so much, and also on wear and tear. So it kind of justified me getting a little bit of a pay cut, and also just my mental health is so much better at my new job, which I think is very important too. I know the goal is to pay off debt as fast as possible, but you also don't want to kill yourself and be miserable the whole time. So I'm really happy that I made the decision that I did. Next, I have spending. I give myself $60 each paycheck, and this is for basically whatever I want to spend it on. So it could be a drink at a gas station, or I see a pair of pants that I really like, or whatever the case may be. That is my personal spending money. Next is groceries, which I have the hardest time budgeting for. I do use coupons a lot, and I've considered making a video where I show you how I set up my coupons. So if you're interested in that video, please let me know down in the comment section below. And the last one that I keep in my wallet is my date night envelope, and that gets $50. I've said this in other videos. I really like to make sure that my boyfriend and I are both paying for date night. So one night he might pay for dinner and I'll pay for the tip, and then the next night I might pay for movie tickets and he gets the popcorn and drinks. I think it makes our relationship a lot better that one person's not paying for everything. But that is also just my personal opinion, and I know that it doesn't always work out like that for everybody else, and that's okay. So this total, should have moved that over, is $230. I just got my allergy shot, so I'm really sorry that I'm like sniffling all over the place. When I get my allergy shots, my body kind of reacts and is like, get this out of me. So next is my sinking funds. Now, if you don't know what sinking funds are, they are more or less a specific savings account. So like I was saying, I just put my car in the shop to get a new wheel bearing. So I'm going to take my car sinking fund money and use that to pay for my repair. It's something that you know is coming up long term, but is not a monthly expense. So another example of this would be my AAA. I know that my AAA is $90 a year, so I take $99, divide it by 12, and that tells me how much I need to save every single month to get enough to pay for my AAA at the end of the month. I take my AAA out of my car fund, and if I don't have enough there, I will take it out of my personal spending, because AAA is not really a necessity. It is more or less a luxury, but it is something that I really like to have just in case, because I've used it on my car and other people's cars, and I just think it's important to me to know I have the security there if I need it. So the first sinking fund that I have is obviously my car repair fund, and that gets $20 every paycheck. Next is my medical fund, and a medical fund is $20. And I'm going to go a little bit more in depth about what I use this money on in my next video, which is a cash envelope stuffing video, as long as it works this time. But for now, I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to put in it, and then in the next video, I'll explain more in depth about what I use the money for. So next is the apartment fund. And that gets $40 every other week. Next is travel, and that gets $10 a week. I have my boyfriend's sinking fund, and that also gets $10 a week. I have my garden fund, and that gets $10 a week. And what is the other one that I have? Oh, gifts. I almost forgot. My gifts. And that also gets $10 a week. Which means the total is $120 every other week. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the total of every single category, and I'm going to call it my total budgeted amount. And the total budgeted amount is $236.50. Now, due to my union contract, we just got 2% raises at the beginning of the year, so my income went up about 30 cents, I think, something like that. So my income this week is $786.62. Now, Dave Ramsey teaches you to do an every dollar budget, which means that this number should equal this number. I know you're not supposed to do Dave-ish, but I think the way I do it would be acceptable. Because basically what I will do is I will take the difference between these two numbers and I will put that towards my debt snowball payment. I also like having it in my checking account just as a cushion, just in case something double bills or I get an unexpected medical bill or something like that happens. That way I don't have to use my emergency fund, but I do have the money on hand just in case. That hasn't happened yet, and so I've been able to put those payments towards my debt snowball. But for now, I'm going to write my debt snowball payment. And the total debt snowball payment from this week is $150.12. Now, if you watched my video last week, you know that this number was actually negative $17 or something like that. But this is why I say it's not a huge deal, because that $17 can come out of here, or like I said, it came out of that extra paycheck that I got at the end of January because they had to close out the books. So I had like a 4-day paycheck on the 31st that I wouldn't normally get, that covered my my butt a little bit. But hopefully this all makes sense to you. If it doesn't, please feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know what doesn't make sense or what you do differently. I am really trying to get this set up so that it's prettier to look at and it just makes more sense. To me, this makes a lot of sense, but obviously that's the great thing about a budget, is it's totally customizable and you can do it however you want. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're interested in watching the cash envelope stuffing video, that will be up in just a couple days, as long as everything works properly. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!